All right, next question. So, Karen, how have you changed in your style, if any, as a therapist over the years that you've been doing therapy?
So I have always been a trauma-informed therapist. I've always, done trainings on trauma and how to support clients that have experienced trauma. Um, I think over time, though, I would take more of a directive approach, and trying to help the client fix the problem. And as time has gone on, one of the things that I've started to really think about and work with, and things that I've been working through in my own life, have been grief and just how maybe some things that, we thought we had under control, just they're not there anymore. We've lost control, or we don't have control of everything, right? And so, um, as time has gone on, I've really been focusing more so on supporting clients understand and accept, the things that are within their control, the things that they can influence, and the things that are not, and working more toward an acceptance of that. Um, of course, not to negate that, we can work toward changing our thoughts, work toward regulating ourselves as best as we can. But I think now more and more there is so much more discourse around just systemic issues that influence our day to day, and maybe things that our culture and our society has have told us that are an individual problem, they're not, right? And so that's something that I've brought in a lot in my sessions with my clients, is to help them, recognize where they can have more compassion toward themselves by acknowledging the things that are within their control and the things that are a part of bigger systemic issues. Um, in order to help them, recognize, like, maybe it's not all me, right? Maybe there are some things that, I can affect and change, but there's a lot of things that impact my day to day that, I have no control over.
So, if I'm getting it correctly, are you saying over the years, it's been more about like not just working on the client, helping them work on the stuff that they have control over, but also focusing on just stigmatizing issues in the world? Is
Hmm.
that a change that I'm hearing?
Exactly. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Um, and that is great. And also, I'm also curious too. Any change in the styles as far as like the interventions that you use? You don't have to, give me the whole list of like, oh, CBT, things like that, but anything that you see that you've changed, you use, or you've not used, or maybe you've continued to use, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like taking elements from DBT, from dialectic behavior therapy. And with that, I think I've definitely focused a lot more lately on more acceptance and commitment therapy work, and they're pretty related.
Easy.
But I really like to focus on supporting clients in navigating ways of coping, mindfulness, and regulating themselves, and then also practicing that radical acceptance for their situation, and what is within their control, and what is not. And holding those boundaries, like recognizing what might be their responsibility, and what is not their responsibility, in order to reduce their anxiety and their stress.
Yes, that is great. And I sorry I didn't ask you this earlier, but I just thought of something that you said you actually, wanted to work with people with substance use. Was there, I was just thinking about motivation interviewing. I know that's a big thing in the Bay. When I was living in the Bay, motivation interviewing. But anything to disclose on that? What was that desire? What was that about? Or, that you want to work with people with substance abuse?
Yeah, well, it started out from, like, ever since I thought about, like, just, or I found out about therapy and being a therapist, because I didn't grow up knowing about it until I was in high school. Um, I think I've always been just curious about why people do the things that they do. And then when it comes to substance use, it was really um like just something that I observed in the community that I was in. I grew up in Oakland, and I grew up like my family, I mean they still do, but we would always sell at the flea market, and we'd see a lot of different people that would visit us at the flea market. And I, even being younger, I remember just people just being very misunderstanding of
Mm.
people that had substance use issues. And I would just hear things around me. And um, I remember thinking, well, it sounds like this person just needs help. Like, why are we saying negative things about this person,
Yeah.
rather than trying to understand why they are doing what they do, and being judgmental? So I started to really wonder, like, how can we help people who are going through substance use challenges? And so that was what drew me in when I started to, think about like being a therapist. That was part of why, is because I wanted to give back to the community that I grew up in. Um, and then I found out that substance use is it's a tough field. It's a tough field to work in, and I
Yeah.
respect those who do.
Yeah.
Um, but I've worked with motivational interviewing, and I've worked with people who have substance use conditions, in different capacities. So I haven't necessarily stopped, being curious about that. Um, but that was really what prompted me, like, from if I can think back, that was what really stands out to me, and why I wanted to be in the field in the first place.
Thank you for explaining that and disclosing that information about you.
Mhm.